Hello everyone, I am Tacet and welcome to the Gems of War Guild Wars. Week 16, day 6, it is a red day today. We will be using the pure red team, well obviously, it's red day, we're using pure red team, oh gasp. But we're going to be using the infinite looping purple red team for our team today. So, not purple. Actually, do I have it saved? Which slots do I have it saved on? I actually don't have it on one of my normal slots. Not sure if I'll be using this committed as one of my normal teams for it, but I did figure we try it for 5 battles. I've yet to try it for all 5 battles and see what we score by the end of the week. So I figured today would be the day. It's Rock Troll, Dark Troll, Elamagrim, and Furnace. I use the same exact thing in PvP, so it should work for Guild Wars because there's no difference. It is pure color after all, surprisingly. There are very few teams that can be used within the context of PvP and Guild Wars the exact same. This is one of them. Of course, the yellow team we do as well works for that purpose. And yeah, let's just see how it does. So yeah, let's get into it. Also, it is very close. Assuming no one else really has many battles, if we do our 5 battles, we will hopefully be 5th. And that means we're in top 6. And that's the main thing we need. Top 6 or higher gives us the better reward, which is nice. So hopefully we'll get that. Ideally, we would have wanted 3rd or higher, but yeah, we're a little bit of a gap between that. And 2nd and 1st is actually way above. Though 3rd place would be possible though. I might just need to kick the lowest score in my team, on my guild. There's actually someone twice as low as our average. So I'll probably need to replace that out on Monday, probably. Anyways, let's go and see what we can do. That other loop. I named one that loop, and then I named this one that other loop. Anyways, hello Ajax, hello Nautical, hello Henny, hello Kahn, hello Mr. Jesse, hello Strawn. Welcome all, welcome. So, where to move? Starting board doesn't look that good. He will poke us, which I guess is good because he's not using Scion. So actually, maybe it isn't that bad. We'll do that, and we'll get the 2nd poke as well. He'll get distracted again. Okay, maybe this board wasn't as bad as I thought. Though he didn't surge, which is unfortunate. And there's no red or purple to take the last tiny bit of our mana. Though that also means he doesn't have a red or purple to be able to take the last little bit of his mana. So I guess that works. We'll do that. He does not give us alignment, but it also means he doesn't have alignment. So we'll do that as I give him alignment, but now we can cast and miss with our cast. Like a true perfect Guild War team, missing every cast. Yep, that's pretty much Guild War. That's pretty much Guild War. It's pretty much just like the definition of what happens when I try using a loop team in Guild Wars. It's like, oh, it works perfectly in PvP? Well, in Guild Wars, it will never function. Okay, there's a 50% chance our 1 troop dies next turn. We have to go try for a loop now. We have no choice. Okay. Well, we have a chance. His whole team is burned. If we can't get it from here, there's no getting it. Okay, we lost. Okay, good. It did get skull distracted, though. Well, this is looking bad, to say the least. Wisp, I hate you. Wisp, why you do this to us? Oh, I missed. Okay. Well, we lost. Interesting. Good job, team. Good job. First battle loss. Well, there's no point in trying to win at this point. Yep, there we go. Well then. That went over well. Let's try that again. I do want to try this for all 5 battles. Though if we lose twice, I don't even know if I've lost twice before in a Guild War yet. That was unfortunate. Luckily, we do have stun for the Scion this time around. So let's try this again. And case in point as to why I don't use this. It's nice for PvP because it goes quick enough when it needs to. But if that keeps happening for Guild Wars, then that is not good. Okay. What do we need to move? We'll go take the purple. Why do we keep getting this unlucky and getting the 1 short? What is my banner color that I keep going 1 short right now? Let's see. Probably running brown red. So why am I getting short then? I guess I keep taking purple. The only thing I can think of. So we'll go take the skull red there. Go take the... Yeah, I'm probably taking purple. Probably the problem. But actually neither of them would give full mana at this point. He is stunned, so we can skull distract. Oh, of course he unstunned. Oh, never mind. He doesn't have his mana. Well, that saved us pretty well. He doesn't actually have his ability right now. That works. I'm fine with that. Okay. Now we'll get this rolling. Now this is what you're supposed to do. Why didn't you do this earlier? Why? What you were supposed to do right before we started. Well, at least it's doing it now. Kind of. Not really. Just got famine. Yeah, we might have to ditch this team. We might have to ditch it. Oh, I was hoping we could try using something else for our regular team. It's just gonna get disabled too quick on most of the battles. Speaking of that... Oh, never mind. We'll be fine. We just take a brown into basically anything. Or that works too. Okay, we'll double that. Our Element Grim, and then poke it with it. And there we go. Okay. Let's see. My thoughts? What is that? The new troop? We will be going over the new troop after this. Oh yeah, we'll be going over the new troop right after the battle. I'll make sure to go over it. It's some kind of little phoenix thing for Suncrest, I believe it was. Pretty sure. Yeah, it was Suncrest. Yeah, I'll go over the phoenix after this. As far as the troop, I think it will be very, very situational. But in those situations, it should be really good. Just trying to put it into a random team, it's going to be horrifically bad. But there are a few teams that you will use the Firestorm of the Sunbird. And you're basically going to build like a sacrifice team out of a Sunbird, which could end up working. You're not really casting her. Pretty much every team you ever put her in, or I assume it's her. I didn't actually read the flavor text thingy. But but yeah, any team that you really use it in is it's basically going to be either red spam or sacrifice spam. There isn't any other team type you would use. You won't use an HP buff team. She kills herself after she casts, so there's no point in buffing her HP, which I find to be really odd, unless they made it a 2-times boost ratio. If it's still 1-times, like the card said earlier, then it's going to be horrible. If it's a 2-times, then it is going to be decent of a troop. I'm not sure if they're going to give it to it. I'm pretty sure they're just going to leave it at 1-times, almost guaranteed. Because the problem with it being 1-times is both Taurus would do the same thing better if it is a 1-times. If it's 2-times, that's a different story, because you can use it kind of like a 1-cast for Wayne and just do it for a team wipe. You can use her red mechanic to get the reds on the board first with Firestorm, and then you can follow it up by just destroying it with the ability after a bunch of HP buffs. Okay, why did the first battle go so bad? Look at this. Look at every battle after the first battle. Why did the first one have to go horrifically? 1,403. That is surprisingly not that good. 1,403? I was actually expecting a bit higher for when it does better. Oh wait, never mind. That was on the second battle. Oh no. Wait. Yeah, never mind. That was on the second battle. That actually was better. Oh wait, wow. That was actually a really good score then. Never mind. 1,403 on the second battle. Because technically that was our third battle, but it was counting as a second point because we got the thing. Anyways, what do I need to times it by? 12 into the 11 times, I think I said 1,403, I'm pretty sure. And that comes out to, whoa! When that team works, it works amazingly. Whoa. Whoa, 1,530. That would have been 7,652 for the day if it scored that every single time. Never mind, this team's actually amazing in Guild Wars. The only problem is when it loses. The problem is one loss. Even if it scores that every single time and we lose once, we'll still have a lower score than if we were to win 5 times. So we're better off just winning 5 times. That's the only bad thing about this team. But wow, when that thing works, it works for a very, very, stop draining us, high score. I just have to watch out, I guess, against Wisp teams and stuff. because this team does have a pretty high attack, and if we lose Grim, we just lost. We can lose pretty much any other troop other than Grim, and we'll be fine. Okay, well, we're in a pretty bad situation now, because he just drained us, and I cannot stun him, and we desperately need our mana. And he's about to Spirit Fox, which is like half the board is yellow. Why is there so much yellow on this board? Wow. And I can't take this red either, and this other red's a trap. It's a trap! Yeah, it's a trap. And I have no way of dropping it either. That or I can just go for the trap and hope for one off the top. Okay, well, that's a bit better. Now he can't deny both of them. Okay, sweet. We got it. So now we just take that and then double ground, and then we get the loop going. Okay, now the struggle is, can we get the loop going? Also, he has one with immune to burn. One. How's the board looking? That's good. Still gonna cast it though, because that's such a high mana cost. 2. 3. Furnace, go. No, good. And 3. Okay, let's see what the score was for that team. Actually, we can look at whatever the number is, and that's what we scored. 1,518. Wow. Yeah, this team does consistently win over 1,500 points every single battle. The biggest issue, though, is it lost. It lost once. It lost on the very first battle. But other than that, let's see. It's scoring easily over 1,500, assuming no losses. So let's just do 1,500 times 5. That means this team would, with 0 loses, consistently score over 7,500. So it would be the only day I could easily score over 7,500. That's pretty nice. The problem is, if it loses, then that defeats the purpose. Because, let's see. Assuming we score our scores. You know, if we keep this up... Oh, never mind. We only have one more battle. Yeah, never mind. We're going to still lose a huge amount of points. I was going to say, I thought we still had 2 more battles left. We don't. We only have the 1. Yeah, we still lose more points from 4 wins with this team than we would with 5 wins of a lesser scoring team. So I will try this again next Red Day. But if it loses again next Red Day, we might have to reconsider again. It's a nice amount of points, but if it loses, that's bad, obviously. But it seems to work against most things, for the most part. It's just anything that uses browns or reds. I mean, browns or purples too heavily, it's going to feed them. That or if it just doesn't get started, because that first battle, we were spending a lot of turns doing nothing. Let's see. Yeah, the Sunbird looks interesting. It will have some really odd teams that will get created out of it. I don't think any of them will be particularly overpowered, but it will be strong. Like, it's going to be useful, but it's going to be very, very selectively useful. There's very few things you'll be able to use it for. It's kind of going to be like in Princess Elspeth in a way. It'll basically be a Firestorm version of Elspeth. Instead of draining a bunch of gems to the board immediately, it's going to get a really quick storm. If I'm not mistaken, the Sunbird coming on Monday will actually be the quickest storm that you can possibly make. One thing in particular that's going to be really funny is using the Firebird with a pure red team using Elspeth on the team. Because you can Elspeth, it will immediately become Firestorm, and then you target that on a red troop, and then you have a Firestorm plus a red spawn on turn 1. Because her resummon counts as a kill an ally, because it does with sacrifice, so I don't see why it wouldn't with Sunbird. So yeah, that should be pretty powerful. And I haven't done the best teams video yet, so since I should have time to record that tomorrow, that means I'll be able to include Sunbird in the best teams thing. Yeah. It's going to be nice. We're going to be super situational, but it's going to be used for 2 things. It's going to be used for possibly within Explore, for people that might not have the better setups. They can run some kind of massive red setup with it. And it's also going to be really good for just getting a huge amount of red curve when you're starting the battle. And Elspeth into a red storm is going to be insane. How much value that's actually going to give. The only problem is that takes up 2 of your 4 slots just for that setup, but I think it will be worth it. Okay, now we can just Grim till we win. Grim, double the purple. Double the Grim, and Furnace dead. Oh, never mind, we didn't need a Furnace. Wow, that team is great. When this team works, it's boom. Very, very nice. But the problem is, if it loses once, it's all of our value. It could have just been like an off kind of thing. Maybe we just got really unlucky. But yeah, let me add 1,500 to what we just scored. And that would essentially have been what we would have scored for the week. So let me see. 5,955 plus 1,500. We would have scored 7,455 approximately if we would have not lost the first battle. So, yeah, we'll try it again next Red Day. If it loses again, we'll stop using it. If it wins all of them, then we'll keep using it because it will easily score over 7,400. Could even break 7,500 for once. I don't believe I've ever broken 7,500. This team would be the team that we would do it with if we were to do so. Anyways, as far as Guild Wars, even with my lose, we are still in 6th place. Hopefully we will keep this 6th place. Actually, we're almost in 5th too. But we still have some people with their battles and stuff that still need to do theirs. Hopefully they'll do that later tonight. If not, then, well, hopefully overnight we'll still keep 6. But anyways, let's go over the new troop. The one that's coming out tomorrow, the one I've been mentioning here and there during the stream. Most of you probably already saw it on the forum already. And that is the Rise of from the Ashes event with the little phoenix thingy. Do keep in mind, I believe this one is... Oh, wait, never mind. Oh, this one's across all platforms. Oh, it's the ones after this one that aren't going to be across all platforms. Because I believe mobile will be getting their patch this week, which will allow them to go get the client update, which will allow them to go get the Urskea Kingdom and all of that. But yeah, let me go bring this on screen. Let me zoom forward, click that onto screen, and there we go. Okay. So the Sunbird. Let me go bring it on so you guys can see it. That would help. That would help. And there it is. Okay. Click OK. Click View, and there's the new Sunbird. Let's just zoom in. So, this troop, what will it do? Deal 22 damage, or deal damage randomly split amongst enemies, boosted by its life. I believe it's a 1-to-1 ratio unless they changed it. If they change it to 2 times, it's going to be an absolutely amazing troop. If they changed it to 1 time, it's basically only going to be used for one of its traits that it has. And then it dies and rises from the ashes. So this is kind of unique and is the only troop of its kind to have this kind of mechanic. Essentially what it will do, I assume, is it will die. This will count as a standard death, so any kind of traits that trigger death-related stuff should hopefully trigger. And it will then revive as a brand new troop. This revived troop would have 0 mana and would have the base stats essentially like it just started the battle, except its traits do not trigger, the ones that start at the beginning of a battle. Moving over, we have the just the stats, 12 mana cost, red, purple. Seems pretty average as far as what everything is. Nothing too notable. It's an elemental beast. I don't think that's really going to come into play. One odd synergy that it may come into play is Forest Guardian, because it is a beast. Other than that, first trait is 100% useless. Why they even gave it to this to a troop that revives a bunch of times, I do not know. Wish they would have gave it agile or literally anything other than a trait that triggers at the beginning of a battle. The other two are decent though. Regeneration is standard regeneration, and the trait that will basically make it insanely powerful is the From Ashes. It summons a firestorm when an ally dies. I assume this will trigger if it kills itself as well. If it doesn't, then what on earth is the point of this troop? Other than using it with an Elspeth or something else. But I do assume that it will create a firestorm if it kills itself. That would make sense. That would be a really weird troop concept if it doesn't interact that way. But we'll find out when it happens. So yeah, that is the new troop. I can't actually show it yet. We'll be able to do that tomorrow when we go and do the video and all that for it. Actually, I'll probably do it later tonight. Might as well stay up for it. I took a little nap too so that I could stay up until a little bit later. So, yeah, so that's everything with the new troop. We'll be going over that, doing the video and, you know, all of our normal stuff, the stream for tomorrow night and the video, and, you know, you guys know by now. But, yeah, that's the new one. Tacet, can't you test it on the beta? No, they never add troops early on the beta version. Actually, sometimes even the beta version is behind on events sometimes. I think they might have fixed that now. But no, the beta thing is not ahead. It's the current version of the beta that I do have to test last I checked, is completely aligned with the events that currently exist on the platform. So it's still the exact same event on the beta version as it is on the thing. It's not like it's ahead of schedule or something. That'd be cool if it was 1 week ahead of schedule so that we could test them like that. But that isn't not the case, unfortunately. But yeah, I can't test it on the beta. I would if I could. But yeah, I have no way to do that. Red Purple Tradestone worth... oh yeah, Red Purple Tradestone you will be able to get. As far as Red Purple Tradestones, what you would use this for, might as well go down all the line. It's an okay Tradestone. A mirror is decent if you need a anti-queen map team. Because I know a lot of people on console are worrying about blues. This is one of the counters to that. It has Mana Shield to counter out Mana Burn on a Queen Mab. It also has the Agile if you need to counter out the skulls off of a Justice. And it also does 2 times damage so that you can deal with Corvash, Justice, and Queen Mab. Or 2 times the blue, I should say. But yeah, if you need a counter to the Justice team, Amira is one of them. So if you're a console player, you can get that. Avina is basically not used ever. Azurus is used within the context of late-game soul farming teams, the most notable one of which is a Dragon Soul triple Azurus team used within the context of Explorer. This is the strongest possible soul farming team that uses zero Fairish Raws and can do about 25,000 souls per hour, which is about 5,000 more than the other alternative that you could do, approximately. So yeah, there's that option if you want to do that. The Dragon Soul triple Azurus. That would of course only be used within the context of Explorer for the purpose of soul farming. Harnex, I'm not a huge fan of. It is worth trading though, if you have spares. It's a Impervious. All Imperviouses are pretty much worth trading. It also only has a 2nd slot Impervious instead of 3rd. And it also gains a ridiculous amount of attack damage. It's also currently the only Impervious strip in the game with any form of skull mitigation, which is another benefit, though 25% is relatively small. Corrupted Urskea is useless, at least until the Urskea Mythic comes in. Then it might be okay. Dark Master is useless. I forget if Def uses it, but Def would be nice fully traded. Not really a necessity, because the first trait doesn't use any trait stones, and that's one of its most important traits. But fully trading it for the 2 life gain could be okay. I forget if it uses it. I can almost guarantee it does use red purple though. Dark Monolith I would skip. Oh wait, never mind, it's not even red purple. That's this week's events. I forget if Elamagrim uses it, but definitely trade him if he does. Flesh Golem is useless, and also his Necromancy is on 1st trait, so the only thing you would need the trait stones for is regeneration, so don't even bother with that. Let's see, what other red purples are there? Incubus is useless, or I shouldn't say useless, but you don't need it. Miststalker, Miststalker is a weird one. It's very situational if you'll need it. Earlier on in the game, this would probably be like the first red purple you'd really go for, mainly because it has a lot of damage potential. It has it hits the weakest enemy with true damage. It poisons them, which is amazing, particularly early on in the game, or really only early on in the game. And then it gains 3 magic if it gets the kill. It's pretty nice, and all of its traits are good. It's one of the only rares, I believe, that uses every single one of its traits pretty well. Magic Link, Stealthy, and Fire Spirit, all 3 of them are amazing, particularly for a Miststalker, so it does work out pretty well. Oh, we can ascend that thing finally. Necreza, you don't need a trait. There's no need to ever really use it. And Necromancy, you don't really build her into a Necromancy team, even though she does have Necromancy. Rock Troll, you would definitely fully trait. He's used within the context of Rock Troll, Dark Troll teams. Runesmith is useless. Sakima, if you're planning on using her, you would trade her. She doesn't really need traits. Her only really good trait is her final trait, which you don't really use too often unless you're specifically feeding red into her. But yeah, it's a nice one. If you're planning on using Sakima a lot, I would definitely trade her. Otherwise, she isn't really that big of a necessity. Skeleros is useless. It's basically like a troll, except it has a higher mana cost, and it doesn't do the extra 4. So there's really no point. It's also one of the reasons why gem spawning is so much better right now than skull spamming, because the troll version of skull spam or skulls isn't really as good as all the mana generation. This is technically not considered a troll though, do keep that in mind. Even though it's the same premise as what a troll does, it's not actually considered one, which is why they didn't actually buff it up. Succubus is useless later in the game. There are some niche purposes early in the game, but you don't really need traits on her. Summoner, same thing, you don't really need traits on it. Dragon Soul would probably be your very first priority for fully trading. Has Mana Shield, huge possession. It's also used within the context of pretty much every team in existence, so really nice. Void Portal is good for red and purple Guild War days. Generally, I run it on red Guild War days if I wasn't running what I was already just running. I normally use it within the context of a true damage team. Org is useless, don't trade it. The only time you'd use this is if you're planning on using... actually, I shouldn't say you shouldn't trade it, but you would only need to trade this if you're planning on using Cabarrus fully traded. If you're not planning on ever using Cabarrus fully traded, you have no need to go and level up the Warg. And yes, 100%, oh gosh, I forgot about this. Level and fully trait your Wisp. It is such an annoying troop. It's the strongest event troop they've added for months. Actually, it might be the strongest event troop they added all year. I would need to backtrack and see what every single one was. But this could be the strongest event troop of 2017, is the Wisp. They went pretty much all out. They were even going to give it Empower too, which would have been even more insane. Luckily, they realized, oh, this is going to be too far out, so they ended up going with Swift instead. Still, it is absolutely insane. We even lost the Wisp during Guild War today. It's really powerful. It's one of the most easiest, probably, to underestimate troops, because it uses your own attack value against you. So it's like, oh, it won't do too much, and then it starts going, and then it just extra turns like half your HP within no time. It's very, very dangerous. Definitely get it. And also, I don't know if Wolf Garrick uses traits. I mean, uses red purple, but if he does, he's kind of worth trading. He's not the highest of priority, but again, he does have Impervious, and there are some contexts of War Gear teams where he's decent. But yeah, the main priority would be Wisp and Dragon Soul, I would say, are the two highest priority. Also a Mist Stalker if you're trying to run a true damage team. Those are probably the biggest three. Your next fourth one would probably be Sakima, and you just work your way down from there depending on what you still need if you've had that many to be able to trait. So yeah, that's basically priority list, and we'll go over that again tomorrow, of course. Good evening, Tasco. Welcome. Welcome. So yeah, and I'll make about 1 or 2 more teams for the best teams video. How many do we have now? 1, 2, 3, 4. I think we have 5, right? 5? I guess I was going to show this one too. Or that, yeah, okay. Yeah, so we have 5, and then I'll probably make a 6th one, maybe. I'll probably make a 6th one out of the Firebird if it works well tomorrow. We'll have to see how it really pans out. Elspeth into it is likely what I'm going to do, and just see what kind of happens. It will likely be a that one red Guild War troop. You know what? We can actually go upgrade him too. Not like it will make any difference, but I believe he's upgradable right now. Let me go under upgrade. Oops, this is not what I meant to click. Click upgradable. And that guy. This is the guy that's going to be really good with the troop coming in tomorrow. I wish I would do it only up to the Ascension. I never bother doing it any further than that. There we go. Let's do all 50 of them. That will get up to Legendary. That makes like such a little difference, but might as well do it. Why not? And go level to 400. Because we'll be needing him next week. Also, for when Soulforge comes out, we should have over 1.5 million souls. So yeah, that's a lot of souls. We'll have plenty of souls to throw against it. What am I going to use the new bird with tomorrow? It's likely going to be something with Elspeth and the one I just leveled up, that Ogren guy. The other 2 troops, or actually the only other one, so I guess it would have to be one gigantic troop used for the other one. It would have to be something that uses red, that deals a lot of damage. I don't even know specifically what I'll use. Let me see. Elamagrim wouldn't work because the board's going to be filled with red. Is there any red troop other than Stonehammer that creates reds? Also not Yerl. We're not doing Yerl. He's way too random. Are there any 2 other than those 2? I need something gigantic that hits all enemies. Elamagrim, except that wouldn't work as well. Draculus is a possibility. Would that work? Possibly. Yeah, we might be able to get away with using Draculus. A lot of these summons are green and blue too, off of Knights. That could possibly work. Oh, Garuda! Oh, wait. Would we need a Garuda? We're already creating a Firestorm. What's the point of double creating a Firestorm? Because we'd already have a Firestorm created. Well, maybe. It's from the same kingdom too, so we'd get some bonus. You know what? We might just use Garuda with it. We could probably try putting Sakima into it too. Too bad it actually wouldn't work, because the Sakima would have to go over to Firebird. So never mind, that wouldn't really work that well. Never mind. Oh no, we could maybe try the grid. I'm gonna try a couple different variants and kind of see what works. Guard's Avatar would work. I don't know how well we'd be able to get the second cast off, but it would give a really excessively quick first cast. We can fill essentially any red troop up from turn 1 when using this team. So we're probably going to use a pretty big powerhouse. 15 mana cost or higher is definitely going to happen. We're not using anything small when it comes to doing this. It's also going to be our only red. Or actually, I shouldn't say that. The little Phoenix will also be a red. Ideally, what we can do is use one gigantic cast. Of course, maybe something like a Guard's Avatar. And then clean it up with the Phoenix. I don't think that will be possible. But if that's actually enough damage to do cleanup, that would be really insane. It would need to have a 2x ratio, though, for that to be able to work. If it has a 1x, I don't believe it's going to be able to clean up with the Phoenix. The Phoenix's damage seems pretty low. Infernus? No, I don't think Infernus is going to work, mainly because it doesn't hit all enemies at once. What's that? The builds are submitted? What's that? The builds are submitted! Salty, how could you post such a thing 2 minutes ago? You've read that correctly. All of our builds have been submitted for approval. And we're even heard back regarding some of them. What does that mean? Their 3.1 update is closer than ever. Rejoice! I told you guys, next week. I called it. But yeah, there's the official post literally 2 minutes ago that was just posted by... Who just posted that in chat? Posted by Strawn. That is the official post saying that they have been sent. And yeah. Oh, that's funny. There's a puppy covered in snow, and Techni said, I waited for you. Aww. Making a joke of because it took forever for this patch to get here. Anyways, they said they were going to start doing patches like quicker, but it's still, I think, been like almost a 3-month gap between the previous patch. Anyways, still, 3.1 is, yeah, next week, sometime next week. So yeah, we're definitely doing the 3.05 video, like, actually I might do it tonight. Probably doing it tonight. So yeah, that means within the next week, like guaranteed, the patches are coming. Or yeah, so yeah, rejoice. It is coming super soon, TM. We don't have any official date though, but we do know that's been sent, and that means it's anywhere from like 2 days to like a little over a week. So yeah, it's pretty much here. 3.1. Oh, that's good news. It's something we kind of already knew, but now we have it confirmed. So that's nice. Anyways, let's go run dragons against this. We still get the extra gold. Might as well utilize that. Never mind. I didn't use it anymore. I forgot. I removed the Snow Panther from this team. What does iPad get 4 times speed in 1 week? That was actually just what that announcement basically was. Even though it doesn't specifically say that mobile is getting 1 time speed. I mean 4 times speed. That is basically what that means, among other things. But yeah, it's like less than a week from now, mobile should be getting it. Probably by like a few days? I don't know. It depends when it actually gets sent through. But yeah, within the next weekish, we will be having, or mobile will be having the 4 times speed, as well as the dungeoning system, as well as the crafting system, and same as all platforms. Well, actually all other platforms already have 4 times speed. Mobile is the only platform that actually doesn't have it. Any mobile players will notice a drastic difference with their game though. Not to mention they're doing an asset overhaul, so technically everyone is going to be noticing a pretty big difference with the game. They did mention, I haven't actually gotten to see it yet because even the beta version, last I checked, doesn't actually show it. But they are doing a complete graphic overhaul of the game. Not of like the troops and stuff, but as far as like the interface of the game, like where the map screen is and stuff like that, and what some of the resources look like. They're going to be overhauling it for different appearance. What specifically this will be, I do not know. We kind of got to see it a little bit earlier because the dungeoning screens that we were able to see were basically completely created with the new format. So we got to see what the new gems look like. They look like, what do you really think? A gem. They look different than the current gems, of course, but they still look like a little gem-like thing. So consoles are getting this at the same time. I wouldn't say per se the exact same day, but probably within like the same few day time span, both PC, mobile, and console would get the patch. But yeah, all of them are pretty much getting it this week, unless Apple takes forever, in which case PC, mobile might get it slightly later. Yeah, I can almost guarantee console will get it first. Apple takes forever to confirm it. They have to confirm it through a couple different platforms, but Apple will probably take the longest. They normally do. The one that confirms it the quickest is Steam, because they don't have any kind of confirmation policy. So if it wasn't for the fact that the PC version was linked to the mobile and to the mobile version, if it wasn't for the fact that PC is linked to mobile, they could update it like pretty much instantly. It wouldn't take them any time at all. Like we'd have the patch literally right now on PC if it wasn't for the fact that it's linked to mobile. And because it's linked to mobile, they have to update both the mobile and the Steam at the same time, or else, of course, you can't go cross-platform with two different versions of a game that are drastically different, even though they're technically slightly different right now. Also, for anyone in my guild who happens to be here, I'm not sure if anyone's even here who's in my guild, maybe like one or two, but if anyone's here in my guild, do keep in mind, soon after, probably the first full week after the patch is released, the next patch, we are raising our trophy minimum from 300 to 500. This is still technically lower than what it was before, because 4 times speed is over twice as quick as what it was before. So technically the minimum should be like over 600 trophies. But the reason I've only kept it at 300 for so long is because I do know some people play on mobile, and I wasn't like going to punish everyone who plays on mobile. But as of next patch, the first full week that gets the next patch, we will be raising our trophy minimum. Gold minimum will stay the same though, so I do highly encourage doing over 1 million, though it will not be particularly required. Also, I'm about to lose due to one-shot Draculas. One-shot Draculas is such a weird build. It's so easy to counter, but if you're just like kind of going through the motions of a battle and not really realizing they have a Draculus on their team, you can easily die to a Draculus. Gotta watch out for this. Draculus humility is it does counter out quite a few teams that get used a lot these days. And normally whenever I'm like streaming and not paying attention, or even if I'm just like playing multiple games at once and not noticing what I'm up against, I have died to such an easy winnable troop so many times. Oh, we still got this. No, wait, no, I'm not gonna bother trying to win that with a single Dragon Soul. But yeah, do not use full AoE against that. The easiest way to counter that, there was actually a post like a week or two ago by someone like raging on the Steam forum of the game, basically saying that Draculus just needs to be removed from the game. But yeah, the easiest way to possibly counter out a Draculus, if anyone is struggling with it, there's a really cheap option that allows you to do it. Use Spider Queen against it. You will have to use one of your slots, but if you throw a Spider Queen at a Draculus, particularly a team running like double humility that's focusing purely on just one single Draculus to kill you with, all you have to do is web it and then you win. Also, she has a web, so you'll get a web and the mana drain on it. So not only will he not be able to cast, but when he does cast, he'll do it for 0 magic. And if I'm not mistaken, he only does 5 true damage to all enemies when he has 0 magic, which of course is a lot lower than what he would be doing with a buffed up humility. One other thing to note is while a troop is webbed, it cannot gain magic, similar to how when a troop is entangled, it cannot gain attack. So that's another thing too. Since, of course, the humility team, the main thing about it is it's trying to give Draculus magic, so you'd be able to prevent it from ever gaining magic as well. And you can use any web troop. It doesn't have to be Spider Queen. The main reason you'd probably consider Spider Queen is because it also has a mana drain. But anything with a web would be the hardest counter that you can do to a Draculus, to a Crimson Bat, to quite a few troops that are really magic-centric. Hopefully all of the Guild War wins, counting as loses, will be addressed during this update. You'd rather them fix existing issues rather than releasing new content that causes even more bugs. Yeah, I really do wish they would make like one kind of patch where all they do is bug fix everything and rebalance everything. I wish they would do that eventually. Also, we don't know if they're going to be doing any rebalance next patch. There hasn't been any word of it, so I assume there's not going to be like any kind of gigantic rebalance. But generally, when they do a major patch like this, they do tweak around the balance a little bit. So I'm curious what they're going to touch. I might have to cry because they might nerf some of the things I use. Who knows? They better not touch this KrissTigger, my KrissTigger. Oh, if they touch Kraken or KrissTigger, it's going to be disappointing. I would understand if they did nerf both of them, but I hope they don't. Because the only reason they're both really strong right now is because the cast meta is strong. Once the cast meta starts becoming a skull meta again, and everyone switches back to skulls, it's not going to be as good as it currently seems, and it would basically be a double nerf. Let's see. If they touch KrissTigger, you might leave the game. Honestly, I do feel like too many people are using KrissTigger, though, myself included. I do rely on it way too much in PvP. Like, you'll notice, like, whenever I go on a loose streak in PvP, what do I always go back to? I go to KrissTigger Dragon Soul, pretty much, is what I go back to every single time. The Dragon Soul is actually not overpowered, though. Earlier on in the game it is, but later in the game it's actually pretty well balanced. It's the KrissTigger that's mainly doing all the damage. All they really need to do to address it, I think, is 1 to 3 boost ratio instead of 1 to 2. And then that would be fine. That, or if you kept the 1 to 2, just slightly lower the damage down to like what Salvani Mora does as its base value. Because look, even its base value, no boost ratio, is higher than some of the other troops. Like, let's go bring up the Salvani Mora real quick and stuff like that. A KrissTigger is 24. A Salvani Mora does 20. Let's go get another one. How about a Garuda? Let's see what Garuda does. Garuda does 22. And it has a lower boost ratio than a KrissTigger. Let's see another one. Behemoth. Behemoth does 21, and that's its entire ability other than destroy gems. And then what else? Let's go get another one. How about a Atlanta, though that's probably even a worse example. She's barely even ever used. But Atlanta, she even has 10% this week. And with 10%, she's not even higher. It only does 23. What's another one? But yeah, if they were to do anything, I think they would lower its base value down to like 19 or 20 or something. Because it is pretty high right now. Before the boost ratio, I believe it's above every other AoE in the entire game. And that's before the boost ratio. After the boost ratio, it's the highest AoE damage that you can do, other than some of the other boost-related ones, like, you know, when they're used stats and stuff like that. But as far as, like, the most consistent, high-damaging AoE kind of damage, it is the highest in the game, among many other things that it does on top of that. Let's not give them ideas. I'm pretty sure they will tweak it eventually. It just seems slightly too high above an average. We even did the video earlier, going over like what the most used troops currently are in the game, at least on the PC side, as far as what's kind of used by the end game players. And KrissTigger, by a large margin, came as #1. It was more than double the 3rd most used troop, which was, I believe, Valkyrie. Also, finally, Valkyrie is not the most used troop in the game for once. For basically a year and a half, Valkyrie was the most used troop. Now it's only the 2nd or 3rd most used troop, so it went down very, very slightly. It didn't really change much. Valkyrie's just so amazing. They're never going to nerf that, though. She already got her nerf. Her nerf was, they got rid of Necromancy on her, and then people started to using her less. Actually, it was done with that, combined with the fact that they also added additional troops that use souls. And that combination kind of made her start slowly falling off because there became other options like Dragon Soul and other teams. Yeah, Valkyrie's still amazing though. Out of all the 6 convert troops, or 7 if you count Keeper Souls, she is the best one of them. It's mainly because she has a 10 mana cost, plus a +1 to the color that she spawns. A Giant Spider is like this too, but Giant Spider has a 13 mana cost, not a 10 mana cost. And obviously a 3 mana cost makes a gigantic difference. It's essentially an entire turn. Let's see. What bug were you referring to? Let me see. I didn't see it. All your guild losses today were due to that freeze bug. I have not actually seen the freeze bug, but yeah, I do hope they address it. I've never, surprisingly, I've never had any glitches other than that one stat glitch that occurred to everyone on PC. Other than that, I've never had any glitches occur within Guild Wars. The most annoying glitch I currently know that exists is the server-related one that has been around for a very long time, though has not been around forever. So something they did in the past ended up causing it. But there is a weird server issue where once every few hours, if you play constantly back-to-back, you'll end up getting a thing that says, or most of you have probably seen the message already, that says this battle has already been completed, blah, 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 blah. It'll bring you back to the main menu. And essentially what it does is it counts your battle as a lose, regardless of what the result was. And I found out the other day, we finally got a lose while simultaneously doing that, like an actual lose. So it still does do, it still does it even, or it still can occur even when you've lost the battle. But of course it's annoying when you win the battle, because when that happens, you essentially win a battle, but it counts as a pure loss, as if you just like abandoned it or something. So yeah, that's not good. And it's been around for a while, and it happens easily if you're playing constantly. It easily happens every few hours at least once. Yeah, you get it so much. Yeah, I probably get it a few times a week. This week I think we got it 3 or 4 times. Oh, did we just hit all ones? I think we just hit all ones, and we got 1 defend win. How fitting. Yep, we just got 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. All the ones, 5 ones. Also, what's the thing these days? I believe it was 22,000 last I checked. Whoa! You need 25,000 points now to get up on the leaderboard. That just keeps shipping higher and higher every single week. Wow. 25,000 is how many points you need to get into the top 100. Before you know it, it's going to be like 50,000. It keeps shipping up like about 500 every single week. And it doesn't seem to be stopping either. I believe it's because everyone that's like trying for the top 100 keep pushing a little bit further. And it just keeps pushing and pushing and pushing. So the average just keeps going up and up and up. Because people are starting to get more natural to doing more. Because before it was like only 20,000, but then if they want to get on, then they need like maybe like 20,200. And then the following week they need about 20,500. And then they need to keep like pushing that up slightly because everyone's getting, who's normally going on the top 100 plus, are used to kind of doing this. And if they're around this little area, they're kind of used to having to do a little bit more than what they did the previous week. So they're kind of just doing that naturally. But yeah, it has shifted all the way to 25,000. This will probably shift almost up to 30,000 once mobile gets 4 times speed. Because of course mobile currently doesn't have it. Anyone who's on the top 100 leaderboard is almost guaranteed playing on PC. Because it's almost impossible to do if you only played on mobile. So that's going to be happening. That will probably shoot up like 5,000 more that you'll need per week once mobile gets 4 times speed, most likely. So will the PC version lose skull baiting when the next update comes? I don't think so. I haven't heard anything about that. I sure hope not. If it does, then that's definitely going to change what is viable. Grigoltha teams are going to fall off. KrissTigger might actually start to fall off slightly. Probably not. That's a mainly a joke, yeah. It'll still be around. But, yeah, that would definitely change things and also be very annoying. You wouldn't be able to bait, obviously, anymore. And there's still ways that you can bait, even without being able to skull bait, though. And I'll probably have to start going over that then. Well, first I would have to try the new AI if that does end up happening. But no, I don't believe that's happening. And if it is ever going to happen, it's probably not happening next patch. I believe they're waiting to do more of an AI overhaul before they bother adding small changes to the already existing AI. Because there's no point in them tweaking it and then just having to completely overhaul it later. I think they're just waiting to completely overhaul it and then go from there. Okay, well, try to Dragon Soul. And that's match. Oh, hello, Humberto. Welcome. Oh, is number 1 level 331? How is that possible? It's mainly because you can make a new account and then farm like crazy on it. The level range where PvP is a cakewalk is around level, or it could be a bot. So you never really know. But looking at his defense team, that just made me slightly speculate. But generally, people like this who do it legitimately, I have no clue if he is or not, but let's just assume he is. But people who do this legitimately, technically, what they basically will do is it'll be, of course, a active player who might just be getting bored if they're using their account that has everything. What they'll do is they'll make a new account, they'll play a bunch of PvP on it, play a bunch of arena, get a bunch of souls. They will then just stay in a guild, or if they're a guild leader, they might just even put it in like one of the top guilds for a couple weeks, and then let it accumulate a nice amount of cards. Then what you do with it once it becomes and gets like a decent team, you just start from level 50-ish to 100-ish, and then you just play and play and play and play. From level 50 on to around level 300, particularly around 50 to 200. PvP is ridiculously easy if you have a solid team. If you have like a Dragon Soul, you just wipe them out in seconds. And there's a few other kind of different teams that you can use. But if you have any of the meta teams around that level range, you can just crush through everything like it's nothing. And it works out really well. You get a lot of points, and that's essentially how you would do that. It's actually slightly unfair for higher level players, because these people can, assuming they have the right setup, will just naturally, in the same amount of time, get more points than late game players. Of course, once they get too high of a level, once they start reaching about level 500, they'll be about the same speed as a person above level 1000 plus. But while they're still the lower level range, it's impossible for a higher level player to keep up with them. So that's mainly what that is, assumably. But yeah, you see it occasionally here and there, where a really low level player will just get a really, really, really high score on the leaderboard. Let's see if there's another lower level player. The next lowest one is only 439. There we go, 312. Of course, not as high, but still decently high. Yeah, there's only other really low level player, but yeah, it happens sometimes. We've seen as low as like a level 50 something on the leaderboard before. And there's been a level 100 something that's been #1 before as well. It happens. It's not that often because, of course, every account can only do that like once. You can only power farm an account once around that level range, because by the time you get on the leaderboard with it, you just gained over 100 levels if you're trying for like the top 10 of the leaderboard from that low of a level. Your highest rank is 9. Yeah, I ended up getting first place once. It was technically third, but it still shows up as first on my little profile thingy. But yeah, the week that we tried going for #1, we got third, and we were beat by 2 bots. So yeah, it went over well. Not counting the 2 bots, we technically made first. But it still shows as rank 1, because there's actually a really easy way. I don't know if the glitch still works, but definitely try doing it maybe tonight, or whenever the next reset is. The reset resets in about 6 hours. One thing that you can actually do, which is kind of weird, but if you play the second that the reset hits, which for anyone in the United States is pretty hard to do because it's like the middle of the night, but for people in Europe as well as people almost anywhere else around the world, it'll be pretty easy to do. But if you play the second that the reset hits and you just power farm PvP like crazy for about 30 minutes and try getting first place, that will perpetually keep the highest rank of #1 on your account. It's the easiest possible way to get rank #1 on it. You would have to win about 1 battle every minute or 2 minutes in PvP as soon as it resets. But the second you hold #1 for even a second, it counts as #1 forever. So yeah, do that. I'm not sure if that glitch will be in place next patch, so definitely do it while you can. I did hold first place for 6 days straight. I have yet to ever end a week at first place though. 6 days was the longest I ever held it, and I lost it on the 7th day to 2 bots. But yeah. So yeah, if you ever wanted to have first place there, go do it on Monday in like 6 hours. Actually, 4 minutes less than 6 hours from now is when the reset is.
Mana surge.
Let's see. I'll go move that over. Though, of course, if everyone's trying to do it at once, then that might not quite work. But, yeah, it's worth trying for. Your highest rank is 7? Yeah, anything above 10 is still really decent for highest rank. Let's see. We'll go take a green. Your highest rank is 2,666. Every Monday when you start to play, some of your guildmates already ended the weekly event. I've had that happen too. It's kind of funny. Sometimes I'll wake up at like 9 a.m. or 10 a.m. or something, and I'll look at the game, and it's like, oh, my guild already finished all the tasks. That sometimes happens if some people are gold crazy, or if a lot of them are playing early in the morning. I'll just like wake up in the morning. It's like, oh, we're on legendary tasks already. That was quick. I'll go and take out red. And go take out yellow. Also, I will have a slot or two tomorrow. I'm not sure if anyone's actually leaving, but there is one person I'll likely be picking. So, I will be doing everything related to that tomorrow. I believe I already have the replacement, but as I said, we might have a second one. So tomorrow night stream, if we still have any, I'll mention it then too. So if any of you have been interested, we will hopefully have a slot available. And if there's anything else you guys want me to go over, just let me know. Otherwise, I'll probably be ending after this battle right now. I will be staying up for the night, so I might be around in global chat if any of you guys want to just mess around. I might be there for an hour or so, I'm not quite sure. I'll be there for at least a little bit, just kind of messing around. Let's see. I'll go take a little poke. Move that over. Dragon Soul. Yeah, the event ends in 6 hours. It will be 8 a.m. here. You'll be sleeping like a fat pig. Yeah, I normally sleep in too. Actually, I'll be staying up till about 5 a.m. tonight to record the video for the new event. I'm also probably just going to record the best teams of 3.05 as well. So, yeah, we'll be doing that as well. Well, I kind of have to soon, or else I won't be able to because the patch is like right around the corner. So, yeah, we'll be recording that probably tomorrow, or like right as soon as the event hits. I'll make sure to record both of them. When they'll be uploaded, I do not know, but they will be recorded then. Well, probably the event video will be uploaded immediately. The best teams video, I'll probably, well, it depends how I do it. If I do it in a single take, it won't have to render, so it will get up probably by midday. But if I do render it, it's probably not getting up till like Tuesday because it's going to take so long to render from that time. Not to mention I already have a video rendering on YouTube right now from the stream, because they both do take up the priority of uploading, even though it's technically already uploaded. But yeah, I'll be heading out. Let's see. Oh wait, does the team you are using require traits to work? Only Gorgolfa. Everything other than Gorgolfa is not required. It's advised to have KrissTigger fully traded, but the only mandatory one is Gorgolfa. Gorgolfa's mandatory, KrissTigger is advised. Dragon Soul is not necessary, though you can trade it next week with the red-purple traits done. Did you do a Stardew Valley stream today? Yes, I did do a Stardew Valley stream. That's actually one of the things that is uploading right now. We ended up marrying Abigail today. The actual marriage ceremony will be next Sunday. But yeah, we ended up marrying Abigail. Yeah, basically what Bridget just said. And we also ended up getting the arcade machine. We were able to win the little mini game of the arcade, the one where you shoot a bunch of things, the Prairie King, whatever it's called. We were able to get that. We didn't get perfect score though, which was what I was trying for. Yeah, I'll be posting that probably sometime tomorrow. It won't be uploaded by tonight. Actually, probably when I upload it this morning, the event video, I'll probably also be able to upload the Stardew Valley thing, because I would need to upload that before I even start uploading the event video. Anyways, guys, I'll see you all for the event video, and tomorrow night when we go over the new event for the Phoenix. Hope you all have a wonderful week, and best of luck with everything. Oh, one last thing. I didn't mention, is it worth opening event keys next week? No, the answer is no. So that's the quick answer for that. So anyways, see you guys, and we'll have the videos out soon. Soon TM. And next patch is also soon TM. Everything is soon TM. All the soon TMs. Anyways, see you guys. Have a good night.